I feel as prepared as I'm gonna be. Hey, it's Romania Black. We're on volume 22 of Berserk. Last volume was kind of incredible, and I want to explain a couple things before going in. As soon as I finished the recording, as soon as I started editing, I was like, oh, Romania, you were an emotional mess for last week. And I was like, I felt so happy during volume 20. I felt so in control. I felt like so calm and collected. And then volume 21 happened, and I felt like I was thrown into an emotional tizzy. And I was like, oh God, girl, you just undone everything you've worked for. And so I wanted to go back and recontextualize my thoughts because I should have had whiteboard Kun out. I've learned my lesson. I should have gone with my guts, instincts, and brought whiteboard Kun out, but I didn't. I was like, I'm fine. I was not. And I've got lots of comments to talk about, but basically, to summarize last week, I'm sure, I don't know if I've answered comments at this point as you're watching this. If I have or not, probably not, because I'm recording a little bit ahead because I'm about to go on vacation, which I think I'll need after this week and next week. But I definitely feel like I enjoyed the twist of it just being like doom, 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 doom. Oh no, we're fine. It was definitely a twist. I wasn't expecting it. I'm still a bit bamboozled by it, but I feel like that's Miura's intent, is to confuse you and be like, oh, don't worry, I'll explain later. And I'm like, thank you, sir. I hope you do before you die. We'll see. But I liked the ending after I realized we still have a ways to go with Farnese and Serpico, because I wasn't ready for their story to end. And I was getting a little frustrated because for a second it seemed like we weren't going to do anything with their characters. And I was like, why did we bring these amazing characters just to drop them off? But we're not, so we're good there. I'm happy with the conclusion of Luca and Jerome's story and Nina and Joachim. I thought that their story ended fine. I was really happy with that conclusion. Luca escapes a horrific fate. Good for her. It's really baby Jesus, baby Griff, aka baby Jesus, that I'm a little bit like, what are we doing with this? Miura, what are we doing with this? And I'm going to try not to be cynical, but I do have thoughts. I have a theory that if we go that route, it makes sense. It seems like it's being set up to make sense. If it goes a different route, I'm going to be like, this makes no sense, and I'm going to be a little questioning of you, sir, and your choices. So let's back up here. So I got some comments to get through before we talk through this. This is going to be a long intro, so I'm just going to forewarn you. This is going to be like a 30-minute intro, so just buckle in. But I can't wait till the end of the reaction for this one. I need to start out with it, and then us go from there. I have like my emergency churro cookies. I've got 2, so if we get to a point in this volume where Romania is like, Miura, you're about to make me lose my mind, I'm going to access a churro cookie. I've got some coffee. I have Zod. I'm as buckled in as I possibly could be. I'm also feeling very claustrophobic because Whiteboard Kun is looming over me, but we'll talk about him in a minute. Heron Player. Okay, Heron Player pointed out that they were like, it's not a fox. It's a dog demon. Y'all, spoilers. Please don't tell me any more about the dog demon that's looming over Guts. I don't want to know any more about it, please. I feel like everybody is so skirting the line with spoilers with it. I'm like, you don't have to say anything or spoiler tag it or something. But it's so frustrating. People are like, it's not a fox, it's the dog. And I'm like, well, you've read the whole damn story. Of course you know what it is. So just please stop that. I don't want any more spoilers. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So, yeah. End of story. I think that it's a dog demon. If it's a dog demon now instead of a fox, since we had to clarify. I think that it's a demon that is latching itself onto Guts, or it's Guts' internal demon that could personify if he were to ever use the Behelit. I don't know. I don't want to know any more about it. I'm going to ask the moderators to flag any comments that mention it from here on in until I find out for myself. So please stop. With that being said, Try C5737 said, thank you very much for your comment on volume 19. I really appreciated that. I agreed with a lot of their comment. A story can have flaws and still be loved. This story is trying my patience, but I still love it. So there's that. But thank you for understanding. And according to them, Miura mellows after a certain point as he gets older and told me to keep pushing on. I don't know how I feel about that. And I'm going to sound very hypocritical when I say this, but I don't know how I feel about Miura making all of these mistakes and these flaws and doing all of these things and then suddenly becoming an old grandpa-ish figure. And it's like, he just didn't know any better. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It's very encouraging to know that maybe this is the end of sexual assault in the manga. That'd be amazing. I would love that. I would hope for that. And maybe we'll get there and that would be amazing and I won't have to complain about it anymore. But I don't know how I feel about it. It's just almost kind of like, I hope that it doesn't become one. What I'm fearful of with that, let me articulate, is that it will get to a point and people will be like, well, why were you being so upset? See, he's fine now. And I'm going to be like, is that an excuse? So I don't know. But I appreciate you being encouraging. And hopefully he does mellow. Although a mellowed Miura, I'm like, did the people start backlashing against him because he mellowed? I don't know. This volume has me on edge already, I can tell. Synthetic vocalists. I did feel really bad because Synthetic Vocalist was like, you keep comparing Corcus to Jerome. What about Gaston? And I was like, I keep forgetting about Gaston. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I told Synthetic Vocalist, I was like, oh my God, I feel like the worst person because I always forgot about Gaston in the anime. And now in the manga, I forget about him even more. So yes, Jerome is definitely more like Gaston than like Corcus, but I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about him and it's really very sad. Emperor Gaiseric did note, and I'm glad you clarified this, that Casca did kill Adon at the Battle of Doldry. That's my bad. I did forget about that. I thought for some reason he escaped harm, but no, apparently he died at the Battle of Doldry. I forgot about that. So thank you for reminding me of it. Lyndon kind of goes along with Try C537's comment, saying to put in perspective, Miura was 23 in 1989 when he wrote Volume 1. And he was 34 when he wrote Volume 20 in 2000. That is insane to me that within 20 volumes, literally 11 years had passed in creating the series. That is insane to me. It's interesting to note that, so I am glad to kind of get a perspective on it. Like I said, I don't feel like that's an excuse for Miura just because he grew up. You were 23 when you started this. I don't know. I'm not going to use it as an excuse to justify anything that I've argued against him, but I do like the perspective that he's in his 30s now as he's writing. So he's about my age. He's a little bit younger than me writing at this point, which is amazing to know that we've come so far in the journey to get here. So that's interesting that around the time that this is being published, it's around the year 2000. Okay. And at this point, the anime had been released, so that's good to know, too, that we'd also gotten through the anime. So that's good as well. That's going to tie into my point up here with this board, though, that I'm a little bit like, a little fearful about. So we're going to tie into it here in just a second. El Freya kind of ties on from Lyndon in asking, is Berserk still my comfort anime? No, is my answer, is my short answer. It is not, sadly. And they were like basically talking about thinking back to the Golden Age arc. And they were talking about the things with like the romance with Guts and Casca. Here's my thing. I do feel I can't say that Guts is my comfort series anymore. I really can't. I feel like the Golden Age arc has that nostalgia, and that part is like a comfort anime to me. Up until episode like 24, it is a comfort anime, right? And then it slaps you in the face and it's like, wake up, bitch. And you're like, oh, okay. But I think what for me that I long for from that Golden Age arc is the romance between Guts and Casca, because my frustration it has been, as it was said in the last volume, that Casca can no longer be the same with Guts as she was before. And I'm not saying they can't be better, but she is not currently in a state that's better than she was before. So it's hard for them as a couple to move forward and be in a better place than they were during the Golden Age arc if she herself is not in a better place than she was during the Golden Age arc. And like I said, I'm going to keep my mind open to the possibility that she might get to be better, but I don't know. My hypothesis at this point is that she's not. She's never going to go back to the way she was in the Golden Age arc, and that's just something I'm going to have to deal with, which is frustrating and sad. But I'm going to trust Miura. I say trust with like a big asterisk compared to what I'm going to talk about here in a second. But no, it's sadly not my comfort anime anymore. Maybe by the time I get to the end of the series, it will be. But this is a very frustrating, bamboozling time with the manga. And I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be frustrated with me this time around because I don't know what's going to happen, and it's a very frustrating plot point. And I'm sure I'm dreading those comments that are like, well, don't you understand the themes of blah, blah, blah? No, because you probably didn't either when you first read this story. You probably know now that you've seen the whole thing in context, but I'm dreading the pretentious comments. I'm dreading so much. Hopefully that doesn't happen, though. Hopefully people are a little bit understanding that this is my first go around with this dramatic plot point. But let's get into that. So, on Whiteboard Coon, last volume, we had some fun things happen. Now, I've tried to organize my thoughts, and I'm trying to calm myself down because I'm already getting worked up, and I've not even started this volume. Ugh, Berserk, what you doing? What you doing? So, basically we had the baby Griff, is what I'm calling this version right now. Here's my theory about Baby Griff, aka Baby Berserk Jesus, is what I'm talking about, which is so funny because we just got through the entire last volume and the moral was, organized religion is maybe bad. And then we have Baby Jesus born and it's like, Miura's like, well, let's complicate things even more because when has he ever complicated things in the past? So here's my theory. I think that Guts and Casca conceived this baby out of love. They conceived this baby, and Femto, who was Griffith, who became Femto out of his selfishness using the Behelit and the God Hand, violated that love and caused the baby to become a demon fetus. That's what we've known so far. That makes sense. And it's been going around protecting Guts and Casca inadvertently out of its love for them the last several volumes. And that all makes sense, right? So the pseudo-apostle, that's not actually a pseudo-apostle. It is an apostle. We're going to talk about that real quick. I put down pseudo-apostle that had been hunted. Moomin points out that it is an egg and an apostle and a sacrifice. What is the perfect world that it wanted to manifest? What does humankind think is so perfect it should be manifested? So my answer to Moomin, your question there, is I think it's mercy and salvation. That the people there that were dying, they wanted a savior. They wanted salvation. They wanted mercy, which ironically enough goes back to Christianity talking about, the birth of Jesus and who died for their sins is kind of that. So I was like, is Baby Griff, Casca and Guts' baby, like Berserk's version of Jesus that's come back to like who has died for the baby demon died for their sins and came back as this new baby Griffith form? But we did find out from Amir Almond that the egg apostle was an orphan that experienced only darkness and despair, and the Behelit they used sacrificed the world. But the world is not the world as we think of it. The world is themselves. That they sacrificed it, and the baby with the Behelit infused from the dead souls that were desiring a salvation and a new world became Baby Griff. And Baby Griff looks like Griffith in my mind because Casca and Guts, the one person they want back in their lives, is Griffith. So it only makes sense that coordinates to how they look and why they look like Griffith. That makes sense, right? And plus you have the whole idea of the White Hawk in the dream connecting to that as well. So then Amir Almond, I wanted to make a note with Amir Almond's comment that the whole idea of the apostle that sacrificed themselves, that they themselves became the sacrifice, which is why they had the brand on their tongue. My thing with that is it kind of relates back to chapter 83 with the idea of God as being oneself. So if the world is yourself is a God, it kind of ties back to that idea. It was all that he had to envision. You have to have a vision for victory. You have to have a vision of what you want. So he offered himself to die, and the baby came with him. Did they merge, or did the egg give himself to let the baby basically become Jesus? because it's the idea of light. They also talk about this idea of light illuminating flaws in someone. We have the idea of Luca showing Nina how cowardly she is, which is why she ends up leaving Luca at the end, because she realizes that if she just stays with Luca, she's not solving the problem. She's just exacerbating it more. So what do we do when we see flaws in the light? Do we change? And we have this this has been illustrated before in Guts and his conversation with Godot, Erica, and Rickert. And that conversation where that whole sanctuary during those chapters, everybody describes it as like a checkpoint and a healing. But Godot's speech to Guts was kind of like that light illuminating Guts's flaws. And Guts made the choice to make a change after that. So now that baby Griff has come to light and he's here to like be this beacon of perfection, what do we do with that? So I talked about it last volume, but the idea that, baby Griff could be a force strong enough to destroy Femto. Where is Femto? See, that's the thing. That is the one aspect about the story. Femto didn't die. Guts didn't defeat him. We never saw the God Hand do anything with him. As far as we know, Femto is Griffith. He's somewhere. For me, it does not make sense for the Apostle and Griff, or Guts and Casca's baby. It does not make sense for that combination of them to become Griffith. That makes no sense whatsoever. And my fear is when Lyndon was saying that, this volume came out around 2000, I'm like, okay, well, by that point, 1997 had passed, the anime had been out. I'm like, were people in the fandom like, we want to see Griffith again. Why aren't you showing us Griffith? Why do you have to become Femto? I'm like, did he just bring Griffith back for fan service? In a weird, stupid shonen decision, did he just bring him back to be fan service? Because that wouldn't make any sense. And it's like, where is Femto? And Skull Knight had made the statement of Guts having to choose between getting revenge on Griffith or saving Casca. That didn't happen where Skull Knight said it was going to happen. So here's my fear too. If this is actually their baby that has become this baby Jesus, which he looks like a full-blown adult now, but if it is in fact their kid, one of my biggest tropes that I hate in literature is the miscommunication trope. I'm a communications major, so the whole idea of a miscommunication trope, when y'all could just talk it out, oh, it loathes me. It just grinds my gears. I get why it's a plot point, but I'm like, I hate it so much. It's like, we could solve all these problems if y'all would just talk it out. But I'm like, I'm afraid that Guts is going to think that baby Griff is Griffith and is maybe going to get jealous if Casca is attached to him, which Casca could be drawn towards baby Griff because it's actually her baby and she's drawn as a mother towards him, but it's confusing because he looks exactly like Griffith. So there's going to be that miscommunication and Guts may get jealous, or he may think that Casca wants to be with Griffith again when it's just their child. I was thinking in my head of all the miscommunication opportunities and it was pissing me off. I was like, no, Miura, don't do this. Like, why? So I don't know. Why does Zod listen to him? When Zod was back with Griffith in the original dungeon, he didn't care. But then he saw the Behelit and was like, oh shit, I don't need to be near you. So why does this Griff, who doesn't have a Behelit, suddenly control Zod? Unless, he's an apostle. So that makes sense if he's stronger than Zod. Okay. Symbolically, I like the idea of baby Griff being this ultimate light, this ultimate ideal of selflessness, that he's a symbol of Guts and Casca's love, and he's just this symbol of light, and that he fights Femto, which is Griffith's version of himself that's, just darkness and selfishness and everything that's bad. I like that. If you're going to do, last volume was all about religion and very the black and white terminology versus the gray. I like the idea of the light versus the darkness. And if you've established that Guts can't kill Femto, then his son doing the job seems like it makes sense, I guess. But I don't know. There's all this stuff with Guts confusing baby Griff for Griffith that I'm not looking forward to, because I think that's going to happen. It's dealing with Casca. Is he going to be jealous that he thinks she wants Griffith and not him, even though we've already been through all this shit? I don't want to think of that. And then, maybe she knows it's her son and not Griffith, but she can't communicate. So I'm like, Miura, did you do this intentionally? So she can't tell Guts that it's her kid and it's their kid? I don't know. I'm just afraid that if it's Griffith, how how did Guts and Casca's baby become Griffith? I'm just worried that it's going to be something really dumb and it's just a plot contrivance to get Griffith back into the storyline because you've wrote yourself into a corner with Vimto. And I've rambled on for nearly 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm a little on edge if you couldn't tell, which is why I have coffee and cookies to help me not be. But I'm going to try to tell myself, volume 20, you were calm, you were cool, you were collected. You thought you had it figured out. And then Miura was like, no, bitch, you don't. So yeah, I'm glad Nina and Luca and Jerome are safe. Puck is with Guts and Casca. They were running away from Psylocke and his forces, the Kushan. And Farnese and Serpico are trailing them. So, yeah. The other thing that has me a little bit worried is I noticed that there are posters that came with this deluxe volume number 8. 8's my lucky number, by the way. So, I'm like, come on, Miura, don't ruin my lucky number for me. But also, it came with posters. I've not looked at what the posters were. I just conveniently put the thing past it. I figured I would get the posters out and look at them when I'm done with this volume. And that'll be kind of like when we get to volume 24, we'll look and see what the posters are of. That might be fun. But I'm a little bit worried because so far this series has not given us any extra materials. And this feels like very much we're about to throw some bullshit at you. So here's some posters to make up for it. I'm going to be like, so I don't know. I said in the last volume, I would stop reading if this was like a reincarnated Griffith. Because again, makes no sense. But if that were the case, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. And I'm going to try my best to be patient, but y'all know me. I'm going to be honest with you. So Zod is sitting here in a chokehold being like, please stop. Poor Zod. I wonder if we'll see him this volume. I'm sure we will if Baby Griff is riding atop of him. I'm just going to call him Baby Griff for now because I don't want to call him Jesus. So we're going to see what happens. But let's not waste any more time. We're going to start volume 22 of Berserk and jump right in. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's go. Oh, speak of the devil. There's Baby Griff with his armor. It looks like little feathery feathers. I don't know, Miura. If this is just fan service, I'm going to be pissed. All right. So the Millennium Empire arc, the Holy Evil War, the Rent World. Now, Skull Knight did say that the world was beginning to crumble and that there was a fissure in all of this. So another thing that I'm just thinking about is the Rent World, the Millennium Empire arc, Falcon of the Millennium Empire arc. Okay, so here's something else that's just now hitting my attention as I'm looking at this. Skull Knight said in the last volume that it was a fissure and the world was beginning to crumble. I'm like, did the Egg Apostle, oh my God, why is this hitting me now? Did the Egg Apostle, when he made the wish for a new world, did he like rewrite time? Did he rewrite time and have Griffith as the Apostle be reborn? Did Guts and Casca lose their baby to make this happen? I'm not using that cookie yet. Okay, so the Egg Apostle. Oh my God, why did I not think of this before starting this video? Did he, in order to rewrite the new world, did he go back and make it to where the baby was sacrificed? And instead of creating like Griffith as the Antichrist or something, it basically, the baby was sacrificed to reforge Griffith as a new apostle that came back. Well, I don't like it if Guts and Casca's baby died so that Griffith could be remade in this new world that's like, and is basically, did this Egg Apostle cause like the time and space continuum to collapse? And Skull Knight's like, well, now we're messing up time and causality. This is not good. I mean, that does make Griffith being here make sense. I don't know if I like it. I'm a Taurus, y'all. Change is hard. So, Falcon of the Millennium Empire Arc, the Holy Evil War, the Rent World. And the idea of the Rent World being like, is it just like borrowed? Is this just a borrowed space and time? It is said it was the children who first began to notice. It's always the kids, right? Hold up, Nico. I'll be the one in trouble if you get lost. Don't I always tell you not to get lost, not to go off into the forest? So don't cry to me if you get eaten by wolves. And lately there's even Kushan, elves. Big brother, I saw elves. What the heck are you talking about? That's why I didn't want to bring this runt along. Lay off of him, Toma. In the end, I understand why Nico gets that way. It's kind of like, don't things seem weird lately? They do, they do. I can't really explain, but don't you get the feeling something too? We've been coming to this forest forever, but it was always like this. But was it always like this? I get the feeling I felt this when I was little too. It's just like... What are we doing? A forest in a dream or something. Yeah, is this like... Is like the dream world mixing with their world and like all these different planes and dimensions? Are they like coming together? I don't know. It's a little bit surreal. What are we doing? Oh, did you hear something? Someone laughing. Oh, cut it out. The wind. It has to be the wind. Oh, it is laughing. Ooh. It stopped. Look, big brother. Oh. Oh, it's Unicorn Zod. Oh. Which, okay, this idea of dreams becoming reality. So we had like the white hawk and everything and the embodiment of it. And then it actually did affect Zod from his dream. But I don't know. I guess my one thing with that is, what about Femto? So if Griffith does come back and this is a thing, like, what happened with Femto? Did he just disappear? Did Miura just go, well, that was a mistake, and just wrote him away? Like what? You getting out the dry erase marker? What are you doing? I don't know. Oh, an evil forest spirit. Monster. Secretly. The hollows of trees, the ground beneath the graves, the whispers of winds, the lull between waves, the depths of wells, the darkness of attics. Secretly, at some point, their silence ceased to be mere silence. Ooh. I like the idea of that tower with like half of its roof missing and the crows and ravens gathering around it and like the trees coming up through it, showing like that the mixture of environments is happening. That's pretty cool, but we know that baby Griffith's on top of him, so what do we do with that? Oh. Like a folk tale told by elders to children's, as if it might have been there all along. Something surely breathed within the silence. Well, probably a demon, right? Looks like it. Oh, damn. Godo did die. That's worth that. Shit. Oh. And there's guts coming. Oh. Oh. Guts and Casca. We took too long. Oh, Berserk, you made it so sad right off the bat. Damn it. Oh. It's so freaking sad. I do like seeing Guts look really soft there. Like I like Guts' soft expression. That's really, really good. Really well done. But, oh. It was soon after you left, Guts. I'm sorry. Nah. Daddy said he was lucky enough just to see you before he died. Besides, he didn't want you to see his face once he was gone. But you found Casca, thank goodness. It would have been all my fault if she never returned. So what are you going to do now? You won't leave her again, right? Let's all live together here. Now, Guts, Skull Knight, everybody's told you you can't go after Griffith. You need to be taking care of Casca. As long as you're here, even Casca will be fine. We can fix up that cave and make it more like a house so it's easier to live in. I mean, I know that's tempting. You want to figure out what's going on. Oh. I'm sure if you're with her and treat her well, she won't run off anymore. That's true. You know. Taking care of Casca. Oh, look at that. Her swinging her around. That's really cute. Can you make a promise so easily? I only half mean it. Just as I got her back, no, in the middle of swinging my sword to get her back, I saw him. The way he appeared before me, he wasn't a demon. He looked so human. As if he'd been stolen from the past. The way he used to be. The instant I saw him, I'd forgotten my urge to kill. I mean, Miura's like, what love triangle? What love triangle? What? I mean, that's really nice and all. I'm like, I'm glad that Griffith is a light that makes Guts not want to be a monster and not kill people. I'm glad that Griffith does that for him. But I'm like, you have Casca right in front of you. What was the whole point of going to get her if you're going to leave her again? What are you doing, Guts? What? Guts! And that can't be. It was an aimless journey relying on strange rumors and subtle sensations of the brand, without even knowing where he was, wandering and pushing through the dead spirits, stalking his shadow when he wasn't even in this world. But now he's in the same world as me, on the same ground when I walk, where my sword can reach. Don't be tempted, Guts. I mean, I get it, and I get why Guts is confused, because he's like, Femto caused all of these negative emotions and me wanting to get revenge and everything, and now right in front of me is the Griffith from my past. What am I supposed to do with that? And we've got a guest. It's somebody Rickert knows from way back. Oh my God, is it going to be him? Oh my God, it is going to be him. Oh my God, with long silver hair, he was so pretty I could hardly tell he was a man. Oh my God, what are we doing about this? What are we doing about this? But why? More like someone out of a fairy tale. What? And they're running over to get him. They're running towards him. But I don't know what happened that day. Guts won't talk about it. I'm afraid to ask. Because he hadn't told him that it was Griffith's fault. Oh my God. But how are we gonna... What? Oh, he's in armor now? What is happening? What is this? Oh. Yeah, what do we do about this? How is this gonna go? Yeah, oh, there he is. He looks just like before. All the shit went down. Looks just like before. I don't have anything to say. Because I want to know what he's going to say about this. Is he able to talk? I assume he's able to talk. How are we going to do? Oh, yeah. And of course, Guts is like, okay, why are you attacking all of a sudden? He's our Griffith, so why? But how can that be? Why is Miura bringing Griffith back? Why did he sacrifice Guts and Casca's baby to bring Griffith back? Or was their baby just a vessel to bring him back? But I can understand why Rickert's holding them back. Like, that all makes sense. That's not the Griffith you know anymore. Oh, what are you saying? You never change. You always swing first and talk later. No, rather, you're the way you were when we first met. But what about Femto? And he's a demon though, right? Why did... But... Don't talk about me with that same voice. What the hell did you come here for? To see you. It was far too turbulent at that tower. There was no chance to speak with you alone. This place seems more fitting for us. The band of the hawk assembling once more. What in the world? Yeah, I can see why Guts is mad, because he's like, you basically sacrificed everybody. Like, how can you take that back? Yeah, what? I came here to know for certain whether anything will shake my heart. What? While I stand before you in this new body of flesh, it seems I am free. What the fuck is this? Miura, what are we doing? Like, how is this Griffith remorseful for what he's done? Does he have any concept of what he's done? Yeah, I'm with Guts. After what you did, after all those you betrayed, don't you feel anything? I'm not going to betray my dream, that is all. Is that dream the same that it was before to be king? Like, what? And what is this with Zod? Why is Zod here too? I'm with Guts. I am so... Black swordsman. Does Rickert know that it's Zod? Does he know that it's Zod there? Like, I don't understand. I don't like the idea, if this is Griffith coming back, that he's not remorseful for everything he's done. That he doesn't care. That he doesn't give a shit. Explain yourself, sir. Like, you came back, so why? Is everybody just going to keep dying and spawning more Griffiths? Oh, yeah. I like that Casca hasn't seen him yet. I don't want... Guts will go crazy if Casca gets near him, because... And I don't want Griffith near her. That doesn't seem right. The beast swordsman versus the black swordsman. I don't understand, Miura, why we're doing this. Okay, who the hell is he? You did well to survive despite my prediction. It pleases me, boy. Of course Zod would be happy about that. Why are you listening to Griffith, though, Zod? What are we doing? And Rickert's like, what is going on? Like, what? Yeah, why? I mean, is this Griffith from another time? It's just like another alternate reality, but it doesn't seem that way. I can't tell what's going on. Well, Rickert, you are as confused as all of us. Magnificent. As a human, you've done well to attain such discipline. I wanted to cross swords with you again this way, now that you've lived through such carnage. What is this? Why are you with Griffith? Yeah, I'm like, why? Move aside, my business with him. Words lack elegance. Force your way past. Oh my God. Griffith, say something. Why? This is... I don't like this, personally. He's got human reflexes. What sword strength? He really is a damn monster. Any other sword would shatter. I'm dead if I stay on the defensive. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, answer his questions, damn it. Okay. My head could be split in the blink of an eye. Every clash rattles my bones. These ain't strikes you can just ward off. It's the same as the other time, but I can fight. I've struggled through countless nights searching for him, and now he's right there in front of you. I don't know why. All you are is in my way. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zod, that you're... Oh, that you're suffering this way. Oh my God. Oh, and Rickert. I almost thought that was Farnese for a second, but Rickert. I've never seen anything like this, even on a battlefield. Rickert's face is really well done there. The way he handles that massive sword, but that wrath. Is his rancor defected? Terrible with that word. Directed at Griffith. Why? Because he doesn't know. Both his hands are tied up. Oh my God. Oh, why is Zod coming at him with a knife? No. Zod, this is a sword fight, not a knife fight. How dare you, sir? Oh, he kicked it in. Oh, what a fight. That man was amazing to switch to using two swords in the midst of an attack and defense the moment he realized his sword was damaged. But then there's Guts, split second judgment, using a sword buried in the snow like that. In an instant, he was driven back. Oh, he used the sword in the snow. Oh, well, yeah, they are on a giant battlefield surrounded by swords, or a memorial surrounded by swords. That makes sense. Death. Guts has done unbelievably well braving death. I wonder if the Skull Knight even knows what's going on, or if he's just like, I am as confused as you. Oh! A faint throbbing. My blood should have been frozen. These feelings belong to that infant that fused into my vessel. Oh! So, basically, fuck it! So the egg wanted Griffith to come back. Wanted Griffith to have a form on Earth. But then what about Femto? Is he just gone? Is he just gone now? We don't know. And so now we have Griffith. But he has the baby in him. He's assimilated the baby, which I hate. And it's supposed to give him a heart, I guess. I don't like this at all. All right, unchanged. Cool. A human who survived the eclipse. Your strength has gotten you through every battle with the apostles. I'd like to amuse myself further with this sword dance of ours, but it seems this horse slayer I stole from the Kushan doesn't quite match up to that demon slayer of yours. I like they called it a demon slayer instead of a dragon slayer. And that makes sense now why Zod is following him. It's a splendid sword, and you possess splendid technique. It all starts here. I've not tasted enough. Oh, there you are. Look, I don't want you to lose your horn, though. You've got to keep that. I do love the way that he draws Zod. He looks absolutely impressive in that moment. But you know Casca's going to show up. Yeah, that man's Nosferatu's on. I like that Rickert's like, somebody needs to explain this to me, please. What is happening here? Yes, that is an excellent question. Very excellent indeed. Ugh. I'm still so mad the baby's been sacrificed to bring fucking Griffith back because we didn't have enough of him in this story. Ugh. Oh, damn. Yeah, Guts. Oh my gosh. I do like that Rickert's got his hair grown out and everything. And the way they draw Zod is really, really good. Oh, well, damn it. Of course. Yes. Get back. Oh, not Godo's mine. Ah, damn it. You're wrecking the mine. Don't run off again. She's going to see Griffith. And is she going to be attracted to the baby because it's her kid or because it's Griffith? I'm like, I don't want her to be attracted to Griffith. Griffith did horrible things to her. Yeah. And I'm sure Guts doesn't want her to see Griffith because of all the bad things that he did to her. A monster! I like that Erica's like, oh shit, he's here. There's a monster here. And Puck's like, whoa. Oh my god. And Casca, move your ass. Do something. Oh. Oh, is Griffith gonna save her from the falling rocks? Is he gonna make up for everything by saying, oh, why? But why? Because there's blood coming out from her wounds. So it's a demon, but oh, I hate this so much. Oh, I hate it. Yeah, get the fuck away from her. Yeah. I will get my own kingdom. Damn. Sorry, Man, I just had a moment with this manga. I guess what frustrates me about Griffith coming back in this moment is it's really like, damn, it's like triggered. I guess what I'm not happy about it being Griffith is, and again, there's no other way to explain why I'm so upset than to talk about my own experience, but like that moment of him holding Casca and she doesn't push away from him. It is very personal, but the person that assaulted me, I know who they are. And a few years ago, there was a person that we're mutual friends, and they had posted on social media. They were like, hey, my buddy's getting ready to move into this new house with his wife and kids. And I saw who it was, and it was them. And it really impacted me in that moment, because it was one of those things of where this individual had done something horrible, and they were able to move on with their life. And it was one of those things where it felt like they probably didn't even remember what they did to me, and that they were able to move on and just keep getting what they wanted and just having a life without having to have any responsibility or repercussions for what they did. And in this moment of Griffith just saving Casca from something that he essentially caused by having Zod fight Guts and showing up there, because I'm sure he knew what was going to happen. It just feels like, I don't know, I think I hate it so much, because it just seems like Miura is trying to like lead us down this plot line where we're supposed to like just be happy Griffith's back and just forgive him for everything he's done. And I'm like, no, I don't think that that's right. And I'm like, I hate the idea that, is it just supposed to be that Casca's like, if Casca like wanted to be with Griffith after everything he's done to her, like, what does that say? What is the meaning of that? And it's just like Griffith is able to come back and do whatever he wants. And now does Guts have to stop Femto and stop Griffith? Or is he supposed to like forgive Griffith for everything he's done and just help him get his kingdom back? Like, what is... it just really, really impacts me right now. And I'm not fully on board with it, I guess. But nothing has changed. I'm going to get my own kingdom. But why? What about Femto? Like, why couldn't Femto do that? What was stopping Femto from going after the same thing? What was stopping Femto from going after the same thing that this Griffith wants? And does this Griffith have the knowledge of everything that he did prior? And why Guts would be mad at him? And I swear, if Casca's like all about Griffith now, despite everything he did to her, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it. Nothing has changed. Nothing has ended. If you learn the truth and come to hate me, so be it. But even then you say you can still chase the dream. Are you trying to recruit Rickard? I'll have no cause to refuse you. And he's like, I don't understand. What's the truth? Move it, Rickard. You say nothing's changed. After everything you did, you say nothing has changed. Yeah. You should have known. This is the man I am. You of all people. I'm kind of with Guts. I'm kind of with Guts. I'm like, does he not get to have any responsibility for what he's done? Are we just all supposed to be like, oh yay, Griffith's back, yay? This is a really hard volume to get through. Guts, tell me the truth. What happened to Griffith and everyone else that day? However painful it is, don't I have a right to know? I have to know, Guts. And see, and the thing that I don't know is... like, they don't know that the baby is inside of Griffith. So, and it's essentially his heart. So I'm like, is the baby going to, like, if it influences Griffith to have a heart and to care about them, then are they going to know it's the baby, or are they going to think that it's Griffith changing his tune, or... Well, I'm glad he told Rickard. Somehow or other, I figured it out. That image was from then. Oh. And see, and if she's attracted to the baby saving her and wanted the baby and not Griffith, that would make sense. But Guts doesn't know because Casca can't freaking talk and say anything. Yeah, and they don't have a home anymore. Rickard, you can't leave Erica alone. Yeah. Take me with you. I'm a hawk too. No. Because you can never really hate Griffith. Yeah, he wasn't there. He didn't see it. Is everyone leaving? Oh, no. What are you doing? Hurry up and catch her. Yeah, if Rickard win, it wouldn't be good. So what are we going to do now? Keep on the trail of vengeance? I like that Puck asked that, like, well, what are we going to do? I'm not going to leave her again. Don't sail the trail of vengeance with Casca. I know that's impossible. I know that. Well, ain't we reluctant? But the elf cave has been demolished. Staying here is quite a bit out of the question, huh? The fact that two branded people can't stay in one place for long was proven with the Tower of Conviction. Ain't there other elf dwellings around here? Well, I guess there could be. But then you just lock Casca up again. That's sad. Didn't she run off in the first place because she hated that? Since I'm the only elf expert here. Yeah, there's a place. It's a bit far, but it's a beautiful paradise. Probably safer than anywhere else in this world. Why didn't I think of it sooner? My home. Okay, so we're going on a quest to go find Puck's home. You can't even stay just one night? Like I said, as long as we have these brands, we'll end up attracting the dead and demons. And you'll be in danger too. And Erica. But still, don't abandon what you can't replace. Weren't those Godot's parting words? Make sure to look after her guts. Snow. That's right. The time I left the Band of the Hawk. It was in snow just like this. The day I quarreled with him. Was on a snowy hill like this. This time I'm the one who was deserted. Damn it. I feel like Miura is setting up. This is like a chance to like redo everything, which is fine, but it's one of those things where like it feels like Miura is setting up for Griffith to have this baby inside, infusing him with a heart, and he's setting us up to like forgive Griffith for everything he's done, and I don't want to. So I hate the idea that that's what it's setting up, if that's the case, but damn, this is hard. This is the man I am, you of all people. I don't like this. If I'm being honest. It's beautiful. And the artwork is great, but this time I won't lose you. I won't leave you behind, and I won't desert you anymore. Well, at least he's doing that. At least Guts has learned from the past that he's not going to leave her behind. It feels like she's a burden to him because she can't defend herself and she can't think for herself. She's just a human-sized object at this point. It's very sad. I don't know what to do with it. But anyway, I'm sorry. It's very upsetting. I really hoped the story was going to go a different route, and it's just, man, it just really got me emotionally triggered and has made all those memories come back up. And I know I'm projecting onto Griffith but it does seem like that same story of like a character that did all these terrible, horrible things, and then he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted, and then he didn't have to suffer any responsibility or consequence. And now it's like the story's rewarding him by not only letting him come back to life again and be like handsome and beautiful and like getting what he wants, but now he's gonna get a heart and everything and be sympathetic. So it's like what is the moral of that, Miura? What are we supposed to do with that, Miura? Oh, anyway. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This giant Shet, Western Midland. It's like we're going back through the whole story with the Band of the Hawk, except this is what happens if Guts didn't join him and took off with Casca instead. We're getting like, is this like if Judo had gotten what he wanted? Oh. Oh, damn. Well, I was going to write on the board weeks since nonsense too, but then we have this shot because apparently we need to meet our nudity quota. Thank God Casca didn't meet that quota this time, but we have to have women with their shirts ripped off that have been violated because at this point, what else do we expect? And then they're lighting like a fire of them alive. What will happen to us? Who knows? I'm sure we'll be taken to their land as slaves, or else be made to have Kushan children. It's the quickest way for them to take over another race. I heard a rumor that they sacrifice women to their god. Either way, we're done for. This town, this kingdom, the Band of the Hawk, if only he were here. This would never, there's no use saying that now, it's coming. Her parents were burned to death right in front of her. She must have lost her mind. It's coming. The light of the hawk is coming. I can hear it. See, and that's the other thing I hate is like, why is Griffith this... Why is someone that's like done all this horrible stuff suddenly getting like being treated as a savior and being rewarded for it? Anyway. Okay. All right. So we have this leader here, the Bakaraka. Oh, there's Silot. There he is. All right. Begging your pardon, but this invasion, it started based on an oracle received by the high priest. Any kind of abnormal phenomenon should be possible. One who is a slave ought to not speak as if informed. Oh, a slave? Is Silot a slave? Oh, is he a slave? You were all driven from the empire for siding with the defeated royal family from the previous struggle for imperial succession. But your original social standing was that of the level of slaves. What good will repatriation do you? Even if our great emperor recognizes people like you as soldiers for amusement's sake, and trusting you with a mission is an act of raving drunkenness. Oh, wow. So Silot, who seemed to be almost royalty the last time we saw him and seemed to be like the leader, this guy's saying, no, you all are basically slaves that the last royal family just kind of like took pity on and made you soldiers. So they're kind of like the band. So Silot is kind of like the Kushan's Griffith in a way, except he doesn't seem interested in women at all, which neither did Griffith, but interesting. Oh, if you would pardon the urgency. Oh my God. Well, there goes an eyeball and there goes a face. Oh, hi. Oh, these guys look like they've been infused like with pseudo-apostles. Oh my God. Oh shit. Like why is that coming straight at the camera? Why straight at us? What? Oh shit. Oh, and that's the disc. We beg your pardon. Oof. Are they monsters? Now we return a mission of searching for the Falcon. Well, there he is. You don't have to search anymore. What? His horse even got the sweet updo. Got the sweet updo. Oh, and he has the damn heart plate there in front. It's not as bitchin' as Mr. Waffles. You can't beat Mr. Waffles, that horse. Cry of the Wind, Part 1. Oh. Is that... I guess they're not. I guess they're just two buff guys, but they look like pseudo-apostles, the ones that were Silot. I'm like, girl, I don't know if I'd want to be like calling him your savior. Why is he here? Oh, shit. Oh. Oh shit. Yeah, no, not good. Oh my god. The shots fired to eyeballs this volume, I tell you. Oh my gosh. Oh. And the arrows didn't make it to him. Ooh. Did he deflect them? What did he do? How could he do that? Oh my god. And then there's Zod. Oh my god! The horse breathing out fire! It looks like on there. Oh my god. What? What? So are they setting up like Guts and Skull Knight versus Griffith and Zod? Oh, what is that man? Slay him. Yeah, no, Zod's not about that life. It's a bad idea. He's a monster. Oof. What is this? What is this? Your pardon for being on horseback. What is this guy with the shredder helmet and the like 2 crescent moons with that? What is this? With the, what is this? Locus. My name is Locus. I've written here guided by an oracle. You're the hawk of light. Is this the truth? The moonlight night Locus. I accept your sword. What? I saw his face in the victory parade at Wyndham. It couldn't be anyone else. He is Midland's guardian angel. But he's a demon, right? The idea of him being basically an apostle because he came back through that. What? Well, then Charlotte's going to get all up in this, right? Right? Oh my gosh. And then just attacking all of them. He's the one. I don't know how I feel about it's a little bit like ugh, the idea of like the barbarianism with the Kushan, because it feels almost like the Dothraki thing in Game of Thrones where they're like, they're savages, they're going to rape our women and do all this, and I'm like, how is that any different than the other men in this world? It's one of those things, like, it feels like such a hollow argument where they're like, oh no, the Kushan, they're so evil, they were gonna like force the women to have sex with them. I'm like, but literally all of the women in this story have been sexually assaulted by every other guy from their own kingdom and in their own families. So why is that an argument of showing how evil the Kushan is? That doesn't, it's like, it seems a little bit kind of hypocritical of if Miura's making the argument. Maybe Miura knows that and he's kind of like pointing out the hypocrisy where he's like, yeah, but it just kind of has like that Tolkien with, you know, the Tolkien with the one group in Return of the King and then the Dothraki and all that, where it's like, we're going to take these exotic people and kind of other them when the same shit's happening within the own people in the story. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's a little cringy, a little bit in that moment that I'm like, Miura, why are you doing that? Griffith. The wind whispered that the world has begun to change. But I'm like, this is the same. Like, I guess it's very confusing because it's like, are we supposed to like be so like, are we supposed to be like this girl and be just in awe and amazed that Griffith's come back? And are we supposed to root for Griffith? Like, we learned from the eclipse that Griffith is a terrible person. So why are we supposed to root for him now? Or are we not supposed to root for him because he's a demon? Like, he's pretty cool, but we learned he's actually like kind of a shit person from the first part of the story. So why are we getting 2.0 of that? Like, I'm not questioning Miura's originality. I'm trying not to. It's just like, y'all say this has a good payoff. Y'all say this has a good, if the payoff being good is that Griffith becomes a good guy and we're supposed to forget everything he's done and he's going to make up for it, then I don't know. But then there's Zod. So it's just, trusting Miura is very difficult right now. Okay. What benefit is there being loyal to these? We should take advantage of the chaos to capture the hawk. It's like he's not even human. Well, he's not human, actually. Oh, is Zod going to come up? Or... Oh, what is this business? What is this? Slow and obtuse. The Tapasa are the pinnacle of the Bakaraka. What a joke. What is that? Raxus. Why is our clan's exile here? You're the light of the hawk. You're lovely. What is this? What is this? Raxus. Someday I'll lop off your head and make it mine. Until then, I'll let no harm come to you. What? Why? And Griffith's just like, sure, come join my posse. I don't care. Like, are we supposed to be, like, wowed and rooting for this ragtag group of handsome and cool beings surrounding Griffith? Oh my god, what is this? Like, he's making this new band of the Hawk. Like, was Locust supposed to be like the new version of Corcus, and is this one here supposed to be the new version of Judo? And then this guy here with the giant elephant mask. What? A Naga. Oh my gosh. He's like Adon, if Adon was cool. Oh man. Is he supposed to be like Guts? Because he kind of looks like Guts in the face there. What? Who goes there? Oh. Oh my gosh. But like all the people there coming from the fire, like are they all rising up from the dead? What? The savior of the world. Or perhaps, as the little hawk flies off. Oh, you're back. Oh. Oh! There's this being. Oh, it's a witch, and the little soul transfers from the bird back to her. And they have their own little puck. Why'd you have to use the bird? Nearing that force field as a luminous body was perilous. One mistake and I'd be lost in the astral world. Geez, is it Shirk? Shirk, you're so tough to understand. The angel is the hawk of darkness. The master of the sinful black sheep, the king of the blind white sheep, the one who shall call down upon the world an age of darkness. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. A choking stench, mind's gone numb with the stench of blood hanging in the air. Dyed red, everything red, red in the setting sun shining upon the blood. The scene which should be only gruesome. Yeah, so this witch knows what's up. She knows what's up, so she's basically saying, no, this angel that seems like they're great is actually a demon. And he's handsome, so everybody's getting fooled by him. But is he also Femto? Is he one and the same? Why did Femto have to be reborn through the apostle? Was it because he'd become ugly? And nobody was going to follow him because he looked like a freak? I don't know. But I like where this witch is going. I like her. It was like an imitable painting. All these, like Zod. Well, I guess Zod is like Guts. I guess this guy with the elephant thing is like Pippin. And then Locust is like Corcus. And the one is like Judo, I guess. I'm like, Miura, if you're trying to suggest that your artwork, as gruesome and horrifying as it is, looks like a painting, I mean, we agree with that. That's not a problem. We were now surely in the midst of some extraordinary tale. It just seems like the same old song and dance that we've been dealing with. Only now Griffith's pretty, so everybody's going to like him. And he's probably going to go and get with Charlotte. How's that going to work? He's a demon. How does that work? Meanwhile, of Snow and Flame, first act. Hey! Thank goodness we found a place where the snow and wind are tolerable for the time being. It is nice not to have to move with so many people nice and quiet. It feels like truly feels like a journey. Did Azon not go with them? How so? It's cold, we're hungry, none of it is nice. Then shall we return to the holy city and give up on the black swordsman? I have no such intention. Do you suggest I report to the court supreme that the holy iron chain knights and refugees were swallowed by monsters? Forget reassignment. We might actually be tried as heretics. Wonder if the vice captain's okay. What did he say here? He's so inflexible after all. He must have got to go get firewood or something. I no longer care to return to that mansion. Serpico looks really good here, by the way. But listen, what are you doing over there? Come closer to the fire. No, you needn't worry. We can't afford Kushan or the like to show up, so I'll keep watch. He doesn't like being by the fire because of his past. Who would be out in this snow? Come warm yourself. I'll not have one who supplies my food collapsing. It was a snowy night just like this when I happened to meet Lady Farnese. He's like, fire. Cold and hunger call forth that childhood day. Oh, I'm glad we get some backstory here. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. They just beat him up with this rock. Oh. Serpico got them back with the rock. This is the holy city, the capital where God dwells. The myriad towers aspire to praise God. The bells resound his glory. Here everything exists for God, and all is offered up to him. For those with nothing to offer, this city could prove to be a harsh place. In a rotting hovel on the edge of said city, I spent my youth together with it. A dim room at the rear of the second floor. Opening that door was always depressing. Emaciated to skin and bones by illness, it reminded me of death. Oh, his mother. Oh. Interesting. The way you would think with his mom, I thought she would be like really young and pretty, but no. And the fact that as a kid, Serpico calls her it. Your mother suffers here so. My back aches, rub it for me. Her protruding, twisted spine and ribs made her seem like a strange monster. I got in a fight with some boys in town. You're an aristocrat. Fighting with commoners is absurd. You must have pride. You alone are my hope. Someday your father will come for us. You must have the pride of an aristocrat so you don't disappoint him when that day comes. Have pride. She repeated that deliriously like some mantra. Apparently long ago she worked as a maid on a certain nobleman's estate. She said that after an intimate relationship with him, she was blessed with me. Oh, I'm the bastard son of a nobleman. Mother clung to her sweet memories and lived vicariously by burdening me with her dream. Man, and that Serpico's whole thing is so relatable. It feels a lot like, kind of in Attack on Titan, it feels like Reiner a little bit. Reiner's backstory, just a little bit with his mom, especially like her wanting him to have like the life that she couldn't have based on like her relations with the nobleman. It's always sad when you have characters that are like, have those dreams forced upon them. She couldn't even imagine how in the world a child, not even 10, had to manage to support himself and his mother on her sick bed. Every day mother forced me to bear more pride than I could ever. And the day the city robbed me of that pride, and every day the city robbed me of that pride completely. I hate it. I hate poor Serpico having to be like this. Before I knew it, I lost all expression and no longer felt anything. It might be easier this way. Oh, wow. And he was just going to die out in the snow. And then she found him with this stupid little beaver. The beaver pelt. Little beaver doll. Or is it a rabbit? I knew at a glance the word was a curse to me. What gazed down on me was unlike myself, no imposter, a genuine daughter of nobility, perfect from her head to her toes. Ooh. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Oh no, she says insolent whelp. Oh my God. So I love that he's just like, oh, you're going to be late for communion. What is it? Is this filthy child dying in the street? Holy Communion can wait. Put the boy in the carriage. We're taking him to the mansion. She's so forceful, but that's kind of her personality, is that she's just really forceful like that. I wonder if he's going to be like into that because his mom was so doting and like, oh, son, you're so amazing and you have to have pride and all this. I wonder if he kind of maybe likes the idea of a girl that doesn't give him any of that. She just kind of calls him for shit. I will look after this boy. Did she think she'd found a wounded puppy or something? Heed this! I am the one who saved your life, so now you belong to me. At the time, it was beyond my ability to fathom. Pledge yourself. Damn, girl is like, she's like, cha, dominatrix. But thanks to that, I was able to find unexpected employment. Now I'd liberated myself from this melancholy monster. I'd be lying if I said it didn't lift my heart. Don't worry, my wages will allow me to hire a housekeeper to take care of you. Although hearing what she said, I became aware of my sin. This is your chance to touch noble society. Serve them well. Wow. And his sin there being that in that moment, he wanted to get away from his mother and everything she was pushing onto him. And so he was like, okay, I'm going. But then she didn't fight back. She was like, okay, good. That's what I wanted for you. And so, of course, you would probably feel a little bit guilty knowing that you were going away from your mom and she didn't fight you. She just wanted the best for you, but it was twisted and, ooh, that's so complicated. I like that a lot, but it's very complicated. Oh. House Vandemon, its assets are rumored to surpass the budget of an eminent nation. The bloodline is apparent in the royal families of several kingdoms. It is the noble family of noble families, centered in the holy city and boasting tremendous influence even in the religious community. But I was too young to comprehend such significance. Just like you're my page. Oh, I love her. I love her with her curls and everything. I was released from those abominable days, and with that in mind, I was able to brook the somewhat unreasonable commands of my new mistress. Again, she has the whip. She's like, ka-cha! Like, go on, get that horse. And are the dogs chasing him and her, like, fishing him out of a stream? Poor thing, you put up with it well. You say you fell off a horse? You might have some broken bones. Oh my God, Farnese, what are you doing to this kid? All of Lady Farnese' servants got fed up with her disposition and ran off. She set fire to one of the girls' dress, badly burning her. Mind you, don't put this young mistress in a foul mood. All in the mansion tread fearfully around this little tyrant. So yeah, she's kind of a spoiled brat. Oh. But she had a fitting reason to be as such. Her father, Lord Vandemon, was zealous for his work and rarely returned to the mansion. And her mother, losing herself in dissipation, abandoned her daughter daily. Her parents buried her in things to express their love. The Lady Farnese was literally left to herself in this expansive mansion. Yeah. Man, so it's the sadly classic case of a kid whose family is completely disassociated from her. So all she knows to do is to kind of act this way to not only garner attention, but she doesn't know how to express love or relationships with other people because her family isn't expressing that themselves with her. Huh. This explains a lot about Farnese's character a lot more. It makes me like her character a lot more. It makes me understand her character a lot more. And it also is making me understand Serpico is kind of coming from a messed up background too. So their relationship kind of is making more and more sense. The solemn statues looked down upon her, a grave and gloomy labyrinth. While there were dozens of servants employed, she would rarely pass even one of them. Something about it reminded me of the melancholy hovel in which Mother and I lived. In this huge prison, she lived alone as she saw fit. I love their relationship and how it's developing. Maybe it was a mere pity and selfishness. Not mere pity and selfishness. Maybe we both sensed the same scent upon one another. One stormy night. Oh. Hold my hand. Oh, wow. Do something about that thunder. Where are you going? Oh. There in the storm. She danced in circles, crying out in a queer voice that was neither a scream nor a laugh. Something ghastly compelled her. It's a storm. You just need to become a storm yourself. It was his abnormal behavior that repulsed the people around her. Wow. So yeah, I mean, that's it. She's so terrified. But her way of absolving the terror and her way of getting through it is to basically become part of it. She's like, in order for me to fight the monster, I have to become the monster. In order for me to fight fire, I have to use fire. So this explains a lot about her personality. One time she led me into the woods behind the mansion. There, deep in the forest, existed a tiny clearing. Suddenly I realized that scattered around us were what looked like bones of small animals. Fetch me some twigs. This small bird. Just recently Lady Farnese had been doting upon it. It wouldn't take to me at all. But for a moment it fluttered furiously and cried out, then before long fell into silence. She's been sacrificing animals to this tree. Okay, so she might be a little bit of a psychopath. She's killing animals. It's a sign of a psychopath. She might be, Serpico, you might be in love a little bit with a psychopath. It's okay. This is my crematory, my holy altar. I burn all the bad ones here. Yeah, you might be in love with a psychopath, sir. I don't know how to tell you this. She spoke absorbedly, her smile illuminated by the flames. That story about the burned servant wasn't alive. No, it wasn't a lie. It was as if, in doing this, she intended to frighten people and drive them away. But then why did she reach out to him? Unless she saw a kindred spirit. The plaza overlooked by Lady Farnese's bedroom. It was used for stake burnings during the height of the Inquisition. And I heard that when she was younger, she went out and threw torches personally, so he knows about it. I suppose she was alone in this darkness, lit only through the windows by flickering flames. On one snowy day, the master of the mansion returned home. It had been over a year since I was hired, but this is the first time I had seen him. What is that filthy doll? Throw it out. I can order as many new ones as you'd like. Run along for right now. Oh, he had no time for her. According to my fellow servants, years ago, the one time that family took a trip together, Lady Farnese nagged her father to buy that rabbit for her. It seems to have been a precious memento. Damn. So yeah, the bird, everything. Anything that remotely was meant to bring her joy and didn't, she felt betrayed by it. And so she just wanted to it's almost like she's making herself a monster so that people will leave her alone. But then, like, the idea that this one item that had sentimental value to her father didn't even remember it. So it's like he told her to get rid of it. And she just like, this one token of us together. And you can't even remember that. I kind of feel bad for her. That's awful. I'll burn you up as well. She's afraid of being left all alone in this vast prison. She's afraid, so she injures them. She's afraid, so she estranges them. She's afraid, so she's desperate to be the one who is feared. Before a child ever grasps for happiness, he buries that part of himself that adapts to reality. Until before long, his true self vanishes as the snow piles up in the labyrinth. Oh, I love that line. I love that line. So it's like she builds all these layers upon herself so that nobody can know how vulnerable she truly is. Although she was pretty vulnerable in several volumes ago, so but still, and Serpico understands why she's like that. He gets it. It all makes sense to him. One time I was halted by the master of the house. What is that hanging from your neck? I thought he would accuse me of stealing it. Oh, I thought so. It contained an inlaid picture of my young mother and father. And thus I came to meet him. There was nothing moving about it for me. He's the one. So they're siblings? Oh my God, what? It was rather underwhelming. Oh my God. However, the truth that Lady Farnese was my younger half-sister shook me more than a little. Well, there went that ship. Unless Miura's gonna get weird with this. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets weird with it. Father said that there were 3 men, my half-brothers, each vying to succeed him as head of the family. He explained that in order to avoid any more useless squabbling, there was no way he could allow me, as a bastard, to assume the family name, Vandemon. If I promised to keep the secret henceforth, I'd be granted the title of nobility, and my circumstances would be dealt with in an appropriate fashion. Would you be willing to meet my mother? In time, a polite dismissal. With so many assets, finding me and mother should have been trivial. My poor mother. I accepted father's conditions. Very well. I hope to remain in this mansion. Honestly, I'm quite at a loss as concerns Farnese. She feigns innocence before me, but I hear from those in the mansion that their lives have been made much easier since you became her companion. That was what the father, who saw her only once a year, said shamelessly. Yeah, like just as if he knows, like acting like he knows Farnese when he's not even seen her, but like once a year. We do not have the power now to melt the snow that lies thick about us. Perhaps we wanted merely to feel the warmth in each other, a warmth we had in common. I'm like, Miura, I wanted to ship them so badly, but now you've made them siblings. What? What am I supposed to do with that? Of Snow and Flame, final act. The time passed within the labyrinth. The 2 saplings beneath the snowy drift became bent and entwined as they grew. Oh, I love it. And before they knew it, trees began to extend, their branches beyond their miniature garden, bearing curious fruit. I'm like, are you 2 going to be, like, intimate when you're siblings? What? I don't think so. Uh-huh. She asked for Serpico, too. Uh-huh. Damn. So much for that. She's impossible to please. Everyone aims to be close to her, and they're all desperate to get under the Vandemon umbrella. Is she again going to dance with none but her escort? Who is he, anyway? I heard he belongs to peerage, but was originally Lady Farnese's page. He was born common? Lady Farnese. It seems her father, Lord Vandemon himself, is his sponsor. He sure picked the right place to worm into. Oh! I'll not forgive you for insulting my companion. A duel! As I'm a lady, the very one you insulted shall be your opponent. And he's like, damn it, I'm going to have to fight this guy. Huh. I mean, on the one hand, Serpico, having your brother pose as your escort so that you don't have to dance with a bunch of, like, greedy, money-grubbing guys. Fair enough, but it's a draw. Come now. Your skills belie your common origin. You are indeed a good choice as the guard for the young Lady Vandemon. Oh! Girl, what we doing? Do y'all get off on this? You'll be like a rag doll. Why won't you fight seriously? Your sword skills should be enough to win any of those duels easily. You give me too much credit. Fine then. You may be more exciting as a rag doll. Since when was it that while twisted in nature, Lady Farnese came to have feelings for me beyond those of a mistress or those of a mistress for her servant? Maybe that was a natural thing, rather, for the two raised in the cradle of the little garden. These two are into some messed up things. He knows that that's his sister. I mean, she probably doesn't know, but he knows. Okay. While I was a child. And then he just keeps... I'm like, but he's clearly stronger than he looks. He's just doing it so that she'll get on to him. He's enabling this. When I was a child in this city, I was taught to the point of revulsion that retribution is foolishness that incurs only retribution. This is the best way to preserve her honor without sowing discord. That year in the holy city, I often caught sight of waifs. So he's like, well, he's like, I don't want to get on everybody's bad side and get them against me or them finding out that I'm her brother, you know. But still... Mother's condition progressed, and I had to send her to a sanitarium. She no longer even knew who I was. The severity had vanished from her face. In the end, Father never came once to see her, gazing away at a dream. In time she came to live within that dream, and I suppose it was her deliverance. And she's got the little thing in the window too. The little hawk thing too. So he's just like, well, my dad never came to visit her, but she got dementia. So then he just like let her write it out, which my friend is a social worker who did geriatric work. And she said that if you are with someone that has dementia and they call you, you know, something that you're not, you're just supposed to go with it because it's better to like at that point, because it's harmless, to just go along with it than to try to like correct them. Right. The master of the house came back several years. After several years. Marriage. I'm doing this for your sake. I've heard tell every time you go to the ball, a duel ensues. It seems I've not intervened enough in the life of my only daughter. Being 16, oh my God, just 16, you have to assume the dignity of a lady. Your fiancé is a certain generous member of royalty who has accepted this proposal despite being aware of your negative behavior. It goes without saying that this is also for the sake of the Vandermont family. Do you understand? We all know where this is going. We all know where this is going. Curious fruit left to be raised by another. But when it is ripe, the one who picks it is the owner of the forest. Miura, what we doing? Oh. I can't leave this place. I can't live anywhere other than here. But if you were to take me and run away, because you and I are bent together. Oh my gosh. I love their story. The idea of them intertwined as siblings. Getting Major Cersei and Jaime vibes, for sure. But is he going to tell her? Is he going to tell her they're siblings? Dude, this is your chance to tell her. Oh. Fathers, mothers, siblings. Why was I now unable to escape from the yokes that bound us? And she let fire to the mansion. Oh, wow. And he saved her from the chandelier falling on her. Oh. Wow. I mean, I don't blame her for going crazy in that moment, because if I was 16 and told I had to just marry some guy, I'm like, she has 3 half brothers. Like, why can't one of them, why is it all staked on her? Why can't one of them, like, get married and take over the house? Why does it have to be her that gets married? Like, that's such a greedy thing on the dad's part, being like, she has 3 half brothers who are going to inherit the business, not her. So why does she have to go do all of that? I'm glad that he didn't do anything with her. I'm also glad that he, in that moment, like, I guess I am glad he didn't tell her, because she was in a really vulnerable place. So him telling her that they're siblings, like, that would have just made it so much worse. And it almost feels unspoken between them that nothing's going to happen between them, but they're there for each other. It's like a platonic, like, soulmate bond with these siblings. One of the houses in the estate burned down in the fire. I permit absolutely no one to hear of this. It would smear the Vandermon name in the mud. The wedding is called off. She was sent to a monastery. She's a devil child. I cannot deal with her. Oh my God. I'm like, she's like this because you didn't love her, you bastard. Why are all the fathers in this story the worst? Berserk fathers are literally the worst. They are some of the worst characters. Like, Godot is like the only good one. Erica's dad was like the only good dad. Like, all of them have something wrong with them. Even Gambino. But like, the only reason she was like this is because you didn't give her any attention or love. The fudge. When her being sent to a monastery, like, makes so much sense with her getting with Father Mosgus and all that. That makes so much sense now. On the master's orders, I was sent as well to look after and keep an eye on her. Undesignedly, her wish had come true. But ever since that day, there was no longer anything between Lady Farnese and myself but a mistress-servant relationship. Yeah, because you're siblings, so it doesn't need to be anything more than that. Yeah. And I feel like she offered herself to him in that moment, being like, we can just do it here in the woods and run off together. And he was kind of like, no, I can't do this with you. And I feel like she assumed it was rejection. And he can't tell her that they're siblings. So it's like, but in the same vein, I'm curious, maybe he doesn't like fire because of the mansion incident, but, I thought he said that his mom was killed in one of the fires, but days were spent in tranquil dialogue with God, but the Vandermon name did not long afford her such desire. How gallant! It is a tradition that the leader of the Holy Iron Chain Knights be a lady, but how grand for it to be the daughter of the glorious Vandermon family. And Azon, yep. It's an honor to meet, it's an honor to meet your acquaintance. Wow, okay. And then by chance that winter, rampant heretics began setting fire to the temples and mansions of nobility. Even the Holy Iron Chain Knights, who were primarily ceremonial guards, were sent to compulsorily capture and suppress the heretics. As if possessed, Lady Farnese took personal charge of rounding up the heretics. That diligent discharge of duty was enough to make even the Court Supreme marvel. Yeah, she's just basically taken all of that anger and frustration she's had as a kid and keeps on going with it. Oh my gosh. Wow. And her staring at the flames, like the fact that she was admired for the fire when she was like admonished for it earlier. And she's been like setting fire to things that has disappointed her since she was a kid. Lady Farnese' expression illuminated by the flames. It was from that one time. The flames scorched her heart, the fundament of her childhood. Perhaps she had found the place she had belonged. Heretics, they weren't devil worshippers. They were members of a heretical sect. They protested against the health of the world being monopolized by the church and nobility. They preached all are equal in God's eyes. It was denounced as heresy by the Holy See. Ha! Imagine that! A religious group saying that their quest for equality were heretic. Oh my God! Nearly all who were arrested were poor third-class citizens who lacked even their daily bread. They were once who I was. But no gruesome spectacle I witnessed could manage to shake my heart. Wow, so Serpico's like, even though I recognize all of these kids are as well off as I had been before, it's like his love for Farnese managed to go past that. Until then, yes! Oh my God, his mom! Oh my God! We were finally able to strike their headquarters, and who would have thought a sanitarium would be their den? What did you just say? Why is she here? Serpico. This is some kind of mistake. I mean, Mother no longer understands anything. Did you say Mother is your mother among these? And she had the same thing that she had there, the same hawk. Oh my God. Oh, that would be impossible. A relative of a member of the Holy Iron Chain Knights, a heretic? Well, yes, but he did just, if this is true, it constitutes a major problem. Is it my fault? Is it because I left you all alone in that house? But was not your wish fulfilled thanks to that decision? I chanced to meet Father and joined the peerage as you wished. Dear husband. Have you been despondent nonetheless since? Oh, how long it's been isolated, clinging to God while living your dream world. I hated you. I sometimes wished for your death so I might escape your yoke. Has our son been of use to you? He has not done anything to disgrace the family name. Is that the reason? Is this your revenge? You throw the torch. Oh. Farnese is like, this is going to keep him from getting persecuted. Oh my God. Prove it to me. Prove she's not your mother. But she knows it is. Swear it once more. I am your mistress. Only I. Always, now, and forever. What did we bury and hide? What did we burn to ashes? What were we delivered from? What were we enchained by? Oh my God, this whole scene, that art, oh my God. She's like, you've been by my side this whole time, and we've managed to make it through all of this together. She's like, I am not losing you, and you're going to prove that you're loyal to me. It's so messed up, but it's so poetic at the same time. Oh my God. I mean, they're so flawed individually. Farnese much more than Serpico, but Serpico being so aware and being the voice of narration in these chapters and explaining to us like his own flaws and that he's aware of them, but he doesn't really know, like, he's like, well, what else should I have done different? What difference would it have made? Oh my God. Oh, the third winter since then. That mansion, that holy city, is probably buried in snow again. We left that labyrinth we never thought we would escape, and now are beneath the sky of a distant journey. Lady Farnese will follow that black swordsman as if trying to melt the snow with some flame. Upon the snow, the footprints alone continue on. Oh, man. Damn! Oh. Wow. So, on the one hand, the whole Farnese backstory with Serpico, I love it. I love it. I love the twist that she made him kill his mom so that he would be able to stay with her. Oh my God. So that's a little bit different. I was like, I thought this whole time that Serpico might be trying to get revenge upon her, but it's kind of like they're both twisted in their own way, right? You know what they remind me of? Okay, there's a series called Skate the Infinity. All right. And if you don't want Skate the Infinity spoilers, then just I'll try to remember to put something up here, but just ignore the next like 30 to 40 seconds. But I'll try to put something that's like spoilers here for Skate the Infinity. Farnese and Serpico remind me of Tadashi and Inosuke, or Adam and Snake is what they remind me of, because Adam's character was from this like upper class, almost nobility, and he's forced to like adhere to these societal conditions that he hates, and all of his happiness. It's basically like Farney's character is Adam. She like basically is ignored by her father, same as Adam, to the point where both her character and his character kind of use violence to lash out against the people around them, while also maintaining this very pure appearance in public when other people are looking. But behind closed doors, they realize kind of how ugly they are. But that ugliness is a product of the environment they've been raised in and the lack of love that they have. And then they have someone that's devoted to them that works literally like their dog by their side. In Skate the Infinity's case, it's Tadashi, aka Snake. And here it's Serpico, which Serpico and Snake, funny. The only thing that's different is that I ship Tadashi and Adam so hard in Skate the Infinity because they're not siblings. And here, I don't know. I'm not into incestuous couples. I know Japan has a very different tolerance of such things. But then, like, you have Jaime and Cersei in Game of Thrones, and it's like, ugh. I'm not into, like, incestuous couples. It's just not me. It's not my thing. I'm not judging anybody that pairs them together. But now that I found out they're half siblings, I'm kind of like, but you guys have the same dad. Isn't that creepy? So I definitely like them as a platonic ship. That she's not going to be with anybody else, and he doesn't seem to really want to be with anybody else, but they kind of have established this kind of asexual platonic relationship with one another where they're just going to be by each other's side forever. And if that's going to happen and they're like siblings and that's their sibling bond, I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. That's cool. I love that page where it's just the two of them and the flame and they do it together. Like that, Miura drew that so well. Like Serpico's expressions. Oh, gorgeous. And then just the idea here that all she wanted was just somebody in her family to love her, and she never got that. And so it was almost like it was just her way of lashing out, and then it became part of her character. I love the description of them becoming intertwined together, like them becoming intertwined like a tree with one another as they grew, and them like, and their true selves being buried in the snow. Oh, I love it. I love their whole backstory. Like everything about this. I'm so glad we're getting to see it. I'm so glad that we didn't have to wait for it. I'm so glad it's happening now. This honestly saved the volume for me. It saved the volume for me so much. So I'm very sorry that I had an insanely intense emotional reaction to this volume. I had a very intense emotional reaction. Sorry about that. Oh my God. But yeah, it's like everything about Griffith like triggered me. It all triggered me because it felt like, because we've made the comment in the past of like, is Miura aware that what he's wrote, but I'm like, I feel like he's aware of what a terrible person Griffith is as Femto, and Guts has every right to be like, this is a problem. And it is kind of a problem. It seems like everything's just repeating itself over again, and Griffith's come back. I guess there are a few things overall that kind of bug me about this whole situation. One is the concept that the baby has been, I'm like, is the baby ever going to get like freed from Griffith? It doesn't seem like it's a vessel now, so it doesn't seem like that's the case, which is concerning. Where's Femto? Does Femto not exist? Can Femto and Griffith exist in the same timeline? Are they going to fight each other? What is that going to be like? Is this Griffith going to fight Femto? This Griffith doesn't seem to be influenced by selfishness or hatred, but they have the same goal as they did before, to rule over the kingdom. So it's like, are they going to get pushed to the brink to end up exactly like Femto all over again? or not? What does Skull Knight think of all this? Is Skull Knight like, this is weird, but okay. He's got Zod working for him. He's got these guys that look like the new Band of the Hawk, which are kind of creepy, working for them. I don't know what to make of that. My whole thing with Casca still stands. I just don't like where Casca is right now. I may not like her the rest of the series where she's at, and so we just have to do with that what we can. But I am hoping... I was really worried this volume up until we meet the little witch girl. I was really, really worried because what I was afraid of is that Miura was just kind of being like, oh, well, yeah, Femto did some bad things, but let's forget about him. Remember how cool Griffith is? Remember how Griffith did nothing wrong? Now he's going to become a king. Isn't that what you guys wanted to see? And I'm like, but what about all the stuff that Casca and Guts have had to go through? Are we just going to like brush that aside and act like it didn't happen and that we should just forget about it? What? But I was very happy that we get this little witch showing up. She has like a little broomstick and she has a fairy. It looks like a little girl fairy. We have that. But she seems to recognize what Griffith actually is, which it's still the Hawk of Darkness. It's still Femto. It's still a problem. He's going to bring upon an age of darkness, but nobody understands him. He's literally Lucifer. Basically, he's literally the Antichrist. I thought that Femto was the Antichrist and this was going to be baby Jesus. Nope. The only thing that's frustrating is like, what I don't want is for the storyline to be that Miura's like, oh, well, Guts and Casca's babies inside of him and he's going to give him empathy and a heart and teach him to be a good person and it's all going to end happily ever after. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I don't think that we should have to forgive Griffith for everything that he's done. And I definitely am not. So I'm all aboard this witch character and her name is, Shirk? I want to see how do you say that? I'm going to pull that up. Get the Google Translate out and see how do we say this. Because I want to try to get it right and detect the language. So it is S-H-S-C-H-I-R-K-E. Shirk. I'm going to do Farnese and see if it'll recognize it.
Farnese.
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 Google Translate like, bitch, get it right. Farnese. You know what? Sorry. Farnese just seems like such a seems like a weird name. Shirk. I like Shirk. Shirk so far is cool. I don't know about I like their ability. I am not surprised we have witches in this world. I think that's funny we have an actual witch show up after we just had an entire arc spanning multi-volumes, everybody being like, witch, and then there be no witches, and then we go the next volume and here's a freaking witch right here on the page. She looks like a stereotypical witch. Maybe she's a mage, though. I don't know if that's a broomstick or if it is a staff. So if we're going more the lines of warriors and stuff, maybe she's a mage. Shirk. Interesting. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading because I want to know more about what Farnese and Serpico are going to do going after Guts. I'm curious about Puck's hometown. They seem to be going there. So that's going to be interesting. But the whole Griffith storyline right now where he's like reliving. My thing is, does this Griffith know what Femto has done? Is he consciously aware of everything he's done to Casca and them before? I don't like the idea of him just getting off easy and not having to claim any responsibility for what he's done. That to me is appalling. But we don't know the full story yet. But damn, that volume triggered some stuff, triggered some like deep down emotions that I hadn't accessed in like years. So apologies for that, but damn. I want less of Griffith and more of anything else right now. Oh my God. Whew. Okay. Well, I've nearly spent 2 hours on this volume, so I'm really excited to see. I'm not excited. I'm so sorry. I feel like everybody in the comments is gonna be like, "Why is she bitching? Why is she crying?" Like, I feel very embarrassed, if I'm honest. So I apologize for that ahead of time, because I just know everybody in the comments is gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch this bitch cry every volume." I'm gonna try not to. I just need to get out of my system. But damn, on the one hand, I'm really glad that we got confirmation. I guess we didn't have to wait a long time to find out that this was all a lie. But on the other hand, I'm really sad about it too, because I had a really cool, fun theory that I thought would be really interesting, and this is not going that route. So, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see what we get, but we'll see. So I'm going to keep reading, and because I still like the story, I don't like this whole bringing Griffith back. I think it's dumb, but you all seem to think that it's going to have some kind of payoff that's good. If the payoff is we're going to love Griffith again, he's going to be a hero. Fuck that. I'm up with this shirt woman that seems to know that he's not. And so I guess it's a matter of time before I want to see, is this Griffith going to reveal his true colors? And what is that going to look like? So I guess we'll have to see. So in any case, I'm really sorry. I hope that this volume was okay and tolerable, but I'll look forward to your comments regardless. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back real soon with more Berserk. Bye!